What's going on, everybody? It's the Bull Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a little bit of a more interesting video today. I want to discuss an article reacting to 3 potential free agents the Chicago Bulls could sign that has links to Billy Donovan. Now, at the end of the day, like it or not, Billy Donovan is our head coach and will be our head coach next season. So maybe it is a good idea to get those types of characters, those types of players that have had ties with Billy Donovan in the past that can maybe help play his system a little bit better. That's what we're going to be discussing in this video. We'll be looking at the 3 free agents that has ties with Billy Donovan and discussing whether or not, I guess, it's a good idea to bring them into the Chicago Bulls team. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and your overall thoughts and opinions on the free agents, and of course Billy Donovan as well. You know, I've seen a lot of people not very happy with Billy Donovan. I understand that, and to be fair, I'm not very happy with Billy Donovan either. In all fairness, the coaching season he had last season was not good enough for any standard of a team trying to compete, and I think Billy Donovan himself would know that. I think he's a very honest person, so he could probably find it in himself to know that he was not good enough last season, just as much as the Bulls fans feel he wasn't good enough last season. And I think the extension as well may have put a lot of feelings towards Billy Donovan, I guess, amplified it in many ways, because, you know, I think a lot of people were not very happy with Billy Donovan, but I think people really started to turn on Billy Donovan when he got that contract extension, because many people believe he didn't deserve it. I don't put that on Billy Donovan, I put that on the front office, but that is also a key reason why Bulls fans are maybe not very happy with him at the moment. But all in all, you know, these 3 targets could potentially change the Chicago Bulls, could potentially help Billy Donovan, and all of a sudden, if the Bulls start competing again, people might be happy with Billy Donovan again. You know, I think winning really changes the whole morale of everybody, from the fans to the players to the coaching staff. So, of course, the Bulls need to get back on the winning track, and that's what we're going to have to try and do next season. But will these 3 free agents be the guys that we can turn to help a winning season? Well, let's start off with the first one, and it's someone that we have not been shy to talk about in the past. His name is Dennis Schroeder. Obviously, you know, Dennis Schroeder's had a very interesting NBA career. Again, someone that was, you know, turned down an $80 million contract from the Lakers to try and get more money, did not get more money, ended up signing a 1-year deal with Boston, I believe, is now back on the Lakers. And Dennis Schroeder is a guy that I think could be good off of the bench. Would he be a good starting point guard for the Chicago Bulls? I'm not too sure. I wouldn't really target him as the key guy to go to. I don't consider him a massive playmaker. And he's a decent scorer as well, I must admit. He's a good offensive player. Defensively, I'm not too sure about him either. I think Dennis Schroeder is the type of guy just to be linked because he's probably easier to get, in all fairness. I think Dennis Schroeder is a guy where, you know, if the Bulls offered him a contract, he might consider it just because it could be depending on the money, you know what I mean? And of course, having that, I guess, correlation with Billy Donovan, I understand one of his best seasons with the OKC Thunder was under Billy Donovan, and Dennis Schroeder had one of his best seasons, so I can understand it from that point of view, in the sense that maybe he could get back to his best, and at his best, he could be a valuable player for the Chicago Bulls. But I do kind of feel like that ship has sailed. We've been talking about Dennis Schroeder for 2 years now, in many ways, with this season being the 3rd season, in many ways. We're talking about Dennis Schroeder potentially joining the Chicago Bulls. At what point do we just give up and say this player does not want to come here, or we should not be putting all of our eggs on Dennis Schroeder coming here to be the answer for the Chicago Bulls? Now, granted, look, he's a point guard. I know we need a point guard, but I think we need a playmaking point guard. Is he the right guy for the Chicago Bulls? Again, off of the bench, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at Dennis Schroeder coming off of the bench, but he should not be our only guard if that's the case. And again, we need to get a starting quality point guard that can help put this team together. I don't know if Dennis Schroeder is the answer for that, with or without the links with Billy Donovan, unfortunately. So that's all I'm going to say about that situation. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm pretty sure he had a bad series in the playoffs as well. I know that won't, I guess, add any extra elements of favoritism for Dennis Schroeder, because, you know, if you play badly in a playoff series, teams are going to know, you know, fans are going to know, and fans are going to remember that much more than a regular season that you may have had. I just think it's past, I guess, the use-by date in many ways for Dennis Schroeder. I just think the timeline doesn't fit anymore. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But let's move on. The next player that we'll be talking about is Hamidou Diallo. Again, links with Billy Donovan, stuff of that nature, and a guy that not a great three-point shooter, which again is a problem for me. But he averaged 10 points per game, I believe. Very, very good in terms of steals and deflections and defense overall, which is a nice addition to the Chicago Bulls team. I don't think you can go wrong with defensive players. But unfortunately, you know, it's very similar to what I just said previously. I think the fact if you're going to bring in a player that can't shoot the 3 ball or does not shoot the 3 ball very well, that's going to be a problem for the Chicago Bulls. I'll give credit to this. He averaged 10 points per game. I don't think there are many Bulls players off of our bench that average 10 points per game. So that's something in his credit. But at the same time, he played for a team that wasn't really competing. So, you know, I think more chances off of the bench or even starting from time to time, he has the right to average those 10 points. But all in all, again, if you can't shoot the 3 ball, it is a problem. I like what he brings defensively. Of course I do. He's been a very good defender for a long time. But yeah, I'm not really keen on bringing someone in that can't shoot the ball anymore. I think our key priorities, if we're going to keep the team the same, even if we do a roster shakeup, the big priority, no matter what we decide to do as a Bulls organization, is to add 3-point shooting into this team. You know, add the forwards and the wing spot, sure. Add another rim protector, sure. Add what you like. I think the number one thing the Chicago Bulls team needs is 3-point shooting. I think you've seen in the Miami Heat series how good 3-point shooting can be to a team. That's what we need to try and pursue. 3-point shooting. We need to increase our value from the 3-point line. And I think all of our problems go away. Most of our problems go away if we are not last in 3-point attempts and 3-point makes. Simple as that. So that's where I feel like the Bulls need to target. I think defensively we have enough. We were very good defensively last year. Even before Patrick Beverley came into this team, we were a very decent defensive team last year. I wouldn't say defense is our biggest problem. Of course, you know, if it's a 3-and-D guy, extra bonus to have that defensive player on your team, nice. I would obviously take that. But if you're struggling to shoot the 3, I don't know. I feel like that's something we shouldn't be targeting at this point in time. Maybe if we had a good 3-point shooting team, but we had little to no defense, that would be a guy I'm very, very interested in. I like the player, just don't think I like the fact that he's not a great 3-point shooter. Let's move over into the next one. And the next one is one that I know many people are huge fans of. Jeremy Grant, ladies and gentlemen, from the Portland Trail Blazers, an unrestricted free agent, someone that we've been linked to in the past, someone that we will most definitely be linked to again. It could be the second chance to go and get Jeremy Grant into the Chicago Bulls team. What I like about this is that it's not a trade anymore. You know, we were considering trading a rookie Patrick Williams for Jeremy Grant on the Detroit Pistons at the time. And, you know, whatever you may feel about that conversation, how you may still feel about the conversation, I like the fact that we could potentially see an idea of Patrick Williams and Jeremy Grant on the same team rather than just being tradable for each other. I like that idea. I think that could be a good idea for the Chicago Bulls. Someone else that could provide some length, could provide some shooting, just being a very, very good, I guess, key player to the Chicago Bulls team. It'd be a nice addition. Unfortunately, again, I don't know how we're going to be able to get that done. We are not financially free to go and sign a player like Jeremy Grant. Unfortunately, look, if he was a free agent next off-season, I think we could do it easily. To be fair, I think he'd like to join a team like Chicago, in all fairness. I don't think we're a terrible team. We're not great, but we're not terrible. I think he could probably be a key difference to making us better. And he's in the age gap where I feel like it's the right kind of deal to do for the Bulls. But, you know, if we're opening up negotiations with Nikola Vucevic and we extend him to the Chicago Bulls, then there's literally, I don't know how we're going to be able to get a guy like Jeremy Grant unless you don't bring back any single player that the Chicago Bulls may want, including Kobe White, Io, you know, hopefully Andre Drummond and Derrick Jones. They decline their player options, stuff of that nature, and, you know, all of that. And even then, I don't think you can get a guy like Jeremy Grant. I don't know how we can do that. That's what I'm going to say. You know, if we make trades, you know, you trade DeMar DeRozan or something along those lines to Portland for a guy like Jeremy Grant in a sign and trade, that's a possibility. But that's difficult to do. So I don't know, in all fairness, how we can get that done. Would I like the player? Yes, I would like the player. I think he's a nice player to have on this team. I think he's someone that's not going to be, I guess, a ball hog in many ways, but he's also going to be a guy that will be impactful when it comes to scoring and hopefully defensively as well, which again, it's not a terrible thing to see. And, you know, since he is a free agent, he'll be here long term because he'll sign a long term deal. I like those things about Jeremy Grant. So, yeah, it's an interesting idea. And it's an idea that I'm intrigued about. It's an idea that I know is very unlikely to happen. But if it did happen, you know, welcome to the Chicago Bulls, Jeremy Grant, I guess, in many ways. And those are the 3 free agents that the Chicago Bulls, I guess, linked with Billy Donovan are the ones that we could potentially get. I'm very surprised Russell Westbrook was not mentioned in this conversation. I'm pretty sure he is an unrestricted free agent. I don't think he's re-signed with the Clippers. I don't think he signed the contract anywhere else. I'm very surprised that Russell Westbrook was not one of these candidates. By the way, this article was by Fansided, if you were unaware. But just to add something on Russell Westbrook, if you like, I think the Bulls should go after Russell Westbrook. You know, I think we need a playmaker. And granted, Russell Westbrook does commit a high amount of turnovers. He also averages a high amount of assists. And I do think we need that point guard that can put everything together. But granted, he is not a three-point shooter either. And that could be a big problem for the Bulls. I wouldn't say Russell Westbrook is my first choice. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if he's there and, you know, he would be willing to come to this team, I wouldn't put it past the Bulls to at least begin a negotiation with him to see what money he'd be looking for, what role would he be looking for, stuff of that nature. You get the idea. That's what I think the Chicago Bulls could do with a guy like Westbrook. But again, you know, it is what it is. And that's it. That's the end of the video. Bit of a weird ending, but that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.